A video from My
has
Zoo
no
program
living
last week.
relatives in North America. So he's it. He's the only one.
He's not mad, he just can't
Oh
figure
my
it out.
god. You gotta take out 2 at once.
I mean, whatever works, right?
Whatever works for the possum.
Absolutely.
An opossum.
Oh, possum.
Oh, you did it.
He did it.
Yeah.
He's happy.
He's got
You guys like his little like hands?
Yeah.
We got to move the yellow.
Yeah, it
Really
looks
long
like, it
fingernails.
looks like he
Oh, wait.
has hands. Where does the square go? Oh, inside the circle.
So, can they see color? Well, you know.
They really can't see much at all.
They really, you can't see like
Where's
parts
the
like
square
maybe.
go? Oh, yeah, where's the
Yeah, if it's not like directly in front of his face, he can't see it at all.
But if it's directly in his face, could he see the color?
Not really. So they're nocturnal. So they don't really have the need to see color because at night everything's kind of just muted colors anyway. So his eyesight is really poor.
But he's got great sense of
How about the hearing?
smell, right?
Yeah. He has really good hearing as well. That's why he's got those big old ears. Funny thing, when they're babies, their ears are the same size and they look gigantic.
Yeah.
They're super cute.
I'm taking a video.
But one of the like kind of difficult things about raising baby opossums is that because they are marsupials, you're gonna laugh at this, but the moms have really, really long nipples. And so in order to feed the babies, you actually have to put the tube really far down their throats.
Oh my God.
Because if you don't, they can aspirate, which means the food can go into their lungs. So when you raise baby opossums, you can't just like syringe or bottle feed them like you can with a squirrel or a chipmunk. You have to actually stick a tube pretty far down their throat in order for it to go into their stomachs. Not usually because that's what they would do in the wild. I mean, again,
What works for an opossum?
all's fair in opossums and fruit cages.
They do what they must.
Exactly.
He's still eating.
I don't want to get too close, but can I like stay right
As
here?
long as your mask is up, just, you know.
You gotta stay like 3 feet away.
Can they eat rotten? Looks like there's missing fur on the back.
So they can eat
Oh, it's okay.
less putrid. So like if something had been dead for like a day, probably. For a week, no. So they don't have as strong guts as say like a vulture or something like that. But they can eat things that maybe ties into other animals. They're actually really great to have around as well. So they eat a lot of ticks and mice, but they can't get Lyme disease. They're completely immune to Lyme disease, and they almost never get rabies. So their body temperature is so low that the rabies virus cannot reproduce. So they actually don't transmit rabies.